Introduce us.
Inappropriately placed.
Introduce us, senpai.
Introduce me, senpai. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Commentators Podcast. I'm Kramer.
I'm Juan.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Tom.
And today is going to be... We're not actually discussing reviews this time. We're going to have a discussion.
We're going to review a topic.
Ooh.
Oh,
Is it my butt?
No.
Yes. I mean, no.
No.
No, it is not.
Today's topic is, which world would you rather be real? Pokemon or superheroes?
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm going with Pokemon.
Because in a world of superheroes, not everyone's a superhero.
That's the biggest argument for that one.
You could absolutely just be the asshole that's, underneath a falling building, and you're like, I hope someone saves me, but if they don't, you're fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was going to pick superhero. My argument is against that one specifically, in the sense that you have more of a chance that anyone can become a superhero through random acts of randomness.
But
It's still very, very minute, and there's only very few people actually become superheroes because A, you either have to be an alien,
No.
B,
Not true.
you have to be a
That's not true at
scientist,
Not true either.
No.
or incredibly rich.
Also not true.
you could be a
Well,
kid
Kramer
in high
knows
school.
nothing about this.
You could be a kid in high school.
It's true.
But that's even very, very minute.
You could get hit by lightning, or touch some weird radioactive material. Which I also think in superhero world, radioactive material just gives you superpowers and not cancer.
cancer, in fact, usually doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But in superhero world,
You're right.
it's still maybe, let's say 50 people out of the billions on the planet.
50? You're putting the number too low.
Way too low.
There's
more people on my Civil War shirt, which I'm not wearing, but
God damn it. But still, your chances aren't that great. In the Pokemon worlds, anybody can be a Pokemon trainer.
I'm gonna say they're pretty good.
Going
Chances are
back-
They're pretty good?
Yeah.
What percentage are you giving?
I'll give you a good 60%.
60% chance you could be a superhero?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
There's tons of superheroes, and they all have bullshit powers, but
Yeah,
there's
that's
tons of them.
But how
And
many
that's the
people
point.
how many people in those universes don't have powers?
It's probably just like a normal world, like current.
Well, let's
whatever
look at
right now.
X-Men. Do you remember when
You could also be a mutant too if you're not a superhero.
He was looking at
But
all
there's a
the
chance you
mutants?
can have really shitty powers too. It doesn't just because you're a superhero doesn't mean you're gonna be a great superhero.
So that's another reason
It's
that you're
still
not
the same way
is
to
that
you
could
can still
get-
have powers.
But 60% is still way too high.
I
It's not
think
60% of people in those worlds.
It's because
are
you could,
superheroes.
even if you're not a superhero, you could still be a mutant who has superpowers.
Or you could be a random asshole with all these people around you.
This is true.
See,
Yeah.
okay, but going back to this, if you're in danger, he's bringing up the point of being in danger of all these things, right? So, what if you run across a Charizard who just decides to crisp you?
Yeah, I mean...
Or an Arcanine, or that dog has to be the size of Shaquille O'Neal, in height. I would just shit my pants.
To be fair, the more dangerous Pokemon normally live in more dangerous environments, and the people who go to those environments are
At 10
already
years old.
experienced Pokemon trainers.
They go
they're
there at 10
they're
years
just
old.
kids.
Which is another thing. In the Pokemon world, you don't age. Once you become a Pokemon trainer, your life clock basically stops until you're like, you know what, I'm tired of training Pokemon. Then you turn 11. That's
And
how
then you
that
run a
works.
shop for the rest of your life.
What?
You run a shop for the rest of your life. Or you hide in woods
Or you-
waiting to talk to people.
Or you become Professor Oak.
And you just wait
Professor
in
Oak
tall
has a sweet
grass.
life, dude. He has acres of land. He does nothing but take care of giant puppies all day.
I think just if you were a normal person in the Pokemon universe, it would just suck. It's like the 1800s, basically.
But if you're a normal person, okay. First of all, it's not necessarily the 1800s.
That's a random guess. Just,
But I
they
actually
have
have
weird technology, and then some places they just don't.
Well, I have a weird theory about why Pokemon is like that.
Uh-huh.
Because, like you just mentioned, they have some random, very advanced technology.
Yeah.
Have you noticed there's almost no animals in Pokemon in the show, like actual animals?
Yeah, they're Pokemon.
The only ones I've ever seen were fish in aquariums and shit.
Magikarp.
But you can still train the fish, right?
No, there's the regular fish. Like if you see one of the episodes where they go to Missy's gym.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me.
Every time.
Yeah, right?
There's they pass by fish tanks and there's just regular fish in there. But that's the only non-Pokemon animal you ever see. My theory.
You know who's the best fish?
What?
Gold duck.
Golden.
Gold duck?
Yeah. I said fish, didn't I?
Goldine.
Sorry.
You mean?
Yeah, I was like, what? Golden.
Keep going. I fucked up just now.
Anyways,
Theory.
my theory is that Pokemon takes place in a post-apocalyptic future
What?
where most animals have been wiped out, and a lot of the technology's been wiped out, but they're still like
They're
very
mutated.
Yeah, no. What they did is they had to scientifically engineer new animals to replace those old animals, and they started off with a few, but their genes were so unstable that they randomly started evolving into various animals, and that's why every new season of Pokemon has another 100 Pokemon. Because the evolution is so quick that more Pokemon keep popping up.
But why would they need to make new Pokemon if they don't eat them? Or
I think
anything?
the original idea was we need Pokemon for even for plants. If bees are wiped out, you can't have fruit.
That's true.
So they needed to engineer bee drills.
Ah. But let's just give him. What does he have? Like giant drills on his hands?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
I
they
didn't
just
say
make
they
him
were
bees?
good. They
Fingers.
did.
Also make him the size of a man.
Yes. That doesn't make any sense.
You notice he
Like
never used the
courtside
drill in the
bees
show,
aren't
though? He always
terrifying
used a
enough.
stinger.
That's true.
That's true.
But I didn't say they did well with the engineering, and it went wildly out of control because while there was still some advanced technology, most of the really good technology was wiped out.
So you want to live in a post-apocalyptic world where there's giant, mutated, it's scientifically engineered
That I can
beasts.
train?
You can maybe train them.
Maybe.
There's not even the option that you can
If you're
train
good
them.
enough to have a badge.
Yeah, you have to be really good, and you're gonna get like maimed most of the time. Everyone in Pokemon universe is living in fear of walking into tall
First of all,
grass.
in all the but in the superhero worlds,
You
in
hear
all
the
the
music?
superhero worlds,
Barrett,
I feel like if you live in a superhero world, it's actually more dangerous than the real world. Because when you have superheroes, you also have supervillains.
Because the superhero world would be like Man of Steel.
If you go, yeah, that'd be
If it was
more
real world.
yeah.
But if you go by like comics-ish, the superheroes always beat the supervillains.
Yeah, I mean,
Not-
we could hope
But
that
if
it'd
we're
be
going
like
by
Marvel.
like in Avengers, where like an entire city could be lifted off the ground and then like thrown back to Earth,
But yeah, like not a single person dies.
Well, they evacuated everyone. So.
they evacuated everybody.
Yeah, you saw the
Realistically,
movie.
that would have happened though.
Well, why not? Quicksilver's super fast. He was helping everyone.
And he
Shield was
died.
there
And
with their
he
giant
died.
characters. He sacrificed
Okay,
himself, okay?
Who dies in Pokemon?
Pokemon died.
Pokemon due to old age and to being used as slave labor to be in their stupid fight clubs.
Oh my god.
Yes, right?
You're ruining Pokemon for me.
Pokemon,
I
if
just
you-
thought they died.
Pokemon is fight clubs with slave labor. If you like
They
Pokemon,
are perfectly willing participants.
You know.
I think
who's-
you. What you are you
Pokemon
trying to
is
say? You support
dogfighting.
slavery?
What? what?
Off topic. Off topic.
Pokemon is dogfighting, basically.
Yes, yes, it is.
It's like Michael Vick.
Yeah, Kramer's saying
But
he
you
wants to
don't
live
have-
in the world where he can be Michael Vick all the time.
But you don't have to just
And
like
not
train
get caught by
Pokemon.
the-
You can be a Pokemon breeder. You can be a Pokemon rancher, which I think is the same thing as a breeder.
Why do they need to be ranched?
I don't know.
You don't eat them.
You know
What do they eat?
I don't- they just
all
eat-
they eat is soup.
I think they just eat rice balls all day.
rice balls?
Those little rice balls. Those aren't donuts.
Oh,
rice
those
balls are
things.
good
No,
as
those
hell,
things
though.
that Brock was feeding.
Ooh, let's go get some rice balls.
You
No,
go get
I-
rice.
Okay, maybe.
Those things are good as hell.
Like everybody just eats those little like poke snacks that Brock makes.
So you can, but I just imagine the food is horrible.
Oh my god, I want to know what the food chain's like in Pokemon.
Food chains.
It's
The
people
food
at the
chain.
bottom.
People are short at the bottom.
Do Pokemon eat each other? I don't think
They
they've
have to
ever
eat each
addressed-
other.
they
There's
never
literally
addressed
like
it.
no other food.
If
other
it
than,
was-
like,
if it was real
berries and
world.
Unless
soup.
they're all vegetarians.
Even Charizard.
Yeah.
What? See, that makes no sense.
Charizard's just like snacking on a twig. Like this is the only source of nutrition I have.
He burns it a little bit just to
I like the Charizard.
give it a little
Uh,
crunch.
I always thought that when I was a kid.
If
and then-
Charizards eat their young.
oh my god.
That's why chameleons are always. I mean, Charmeleons are always pissed off.
I survived this. You just wait till I evolve again. I'll eat you, mom.
every-
I did freak out when I saw like one episode that had a Dodrio, and it was a rooster. It was the one that was cawing in the morning, and that's when as
yeah.
a kid I first realized there's no animals in that world, and I was like, what are burgers made out of?
They don't have. You're living in a world where burgers and pizza do not exist.
No, they have like burgers.
Nachos
I've
don't
seen them
exist.
eat burgers and stuff in the show.
They're not real burgers.
Are they all like tofu burgers?
Oh,
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of tofu with that show.
at least
Yeah.
there's shawarma in superhero worlds.
There is shawarma.
There's regular
superheroes.
food because superhero world would just be like living now, except with supervillains and superheroes.
Except for shit just fucking exploding and going chaotic everywhere around
It's
you.
true.
I think if you live in New York,
Which you should.
Which is the worst place to live for superhero.
Or
If you lived
one-
anywhere else, you'd be kind of okay.
No.
We live in Houston.
They're
This is
kind of
like
all
the
over the
biggest
place now.
city in
Yeah, Houston is still a
fucking
very big
country.
metropolitan city. We're still kind of fucked.
I'd say more. Everything happens in New York.
No, it
No,
would
not
definitely
everything happens in New
Man
York.
of Steel proved that you don't. If you're
Everything
not in the
happens
city,
in
you
New
still
York
get fucked.
Or cities that don't exist.
Well, if no, like I
that
think
means the cities would exist.
Yeah.
Like Gotham and Metropolis. Well, just don't live there.
That'd be pretty tight though.
Those don't really look that appealing anyway. Like just seeing the things they do in Gotham. Like,
yeah, Gotham doesn't look like a good
Gotham's a
place to live.
shithole, basically.
That doesn't look like a fun place to live at all. That's
Metropolis looks nice.
There's Coast City. There's
I think Coast City would be Houston
Coast. Why do you say that?
because it's along the. No, that's Galveston. Never mind.
I don't know.
it
Is
Pokemon?
Coast City on the coast, or is it just called Coast City?
Coast City.
I
Coast,
don't know.
Coast.
I
That's
think
the
it's on
Green
the coast.
Lantern. That's Green Lantern turf.
Yeah, but I think that's on the coast.
Are you putting like where things would be?
Yeah, because Metropolis would be New York.
No.
No, I mean there's
They
New
have
York.
a New York.
They have a.
They have in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, in the world where Metropolis exists, they
There's a
also
New
have a
York.
New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Metropolis. They're
That's where,
all
like,
fictional,
Fantastic Four is.
new.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, but that's a different universe. That's Marvel, isn't it?
It's all the same universe. Like Marvel and DC, just superhero in general. Is it, or is that your specifics?
Ryan's giving you like a very weird look. Like, what the
Oh, what do
fuck?
you mean?
Like, when we do the topic of superheroes.
Oh, you're just- you're molding it all
I'm
together.
putting it all together.
He's molding it all together.
Because they're
Okay.
just superheroes in different versions.
Because we don't have DC or Marvel if it's real. It's
Yeah.
just it's just there.
Yeah.
It's probably like Dark Horse. Or Image.
Well, I know you had, Ryan, you had specifications you wanted to know and questions.
Okay,
Before
yeah,
you even
I
gave us
still
that.
haven't answered
Yeah.
because
There's two Pokemon.
we've been talking
to
about
one
it.
superhero.
I don't know. It's just like
Gun to your head.
What are
gun to
your
balls.
questions? You had questions.
What do you pick?
No, don't make him choose yet.
Okay. I do
no.
have
I don't.
questions.
I'm
Questions.
leaning towards Pokemon, right? But I mean, it's like
But what are your questions? Do you have?
Yeah.
if you well, we kind of answered some of them already. But if you're like in a superhero world, you're not a superhero, most likely. You have to
Most
live
likely.
amongst them,
you have to watch them and be like, that is the coolest guy I've ever seen in my life.
and then,
Here
and
I
then
am
it's
pushing
over.
paperwork all day.
I am worthless.
And then if you're in a
It kind
Pokemon
of just sounds
world,
like real life.
Yeah,
Like now.
that's why I don't want it. It's
Except-
real life, but with bullshit. More
Yeah,
bullshit.
your number of 60% is wildly inaccurate.
No, I don't think it is at all. Because
No,
you could
because
still
like
have the
there's
chance
still
to
way
be-
more
probably
citizens. Like
looking-
if you watch any of those shows, there's still way more random citizens than there are heroes. They're just not a main part of the show because it's not about them.
Yeah,
I would still
you're,
just say
you're
you
probably
could-
looking at like a 3% superhero rate amongst population.
Yeah,
I'd say you could still be a mutant, and that raises it up.
No, even mutants
You're
aren't
probably
that
looking
like.
at-
Just because you're not, they're not. You don't have to be a superhero to be a mutant.
Out of
But
several
X
billion
Gene still
people,
skips a generation, so you could probably have an asshole brother who's an awesome like mutant, and then you don't have shit.
Yeah,
okay, hold on. If I'm not
what
mistaken,
about technology-wise?
Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, there was a book, an X-Men book, where most mutants got killed off.
House of M?
No, I don't think that was House of M. It was something else. And I could have sworn the number was less than 1 million.
It was less than what?
Less than 1 million
The
mutants.
mutants?
All but most of them got killed off, and the number was like either 200,000 or 600,000 or something like that. It was less than 1 million
In
And then-
America or in the world?
in the world. It was a book where they almost all of them got killed off. And
Okay, so
all
I have
of them
2
were red
points-
shirts.
2 points from that. A, the percentage of mutants
Yeah, the percentage
drastically just went down.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And B, the survivors basically just went through Auschwitz.
Ooh.
So in the superhero world, if you're like, well, I'll be a mutant most of the time anyway, most of them get sent to like concentration camps because everyone seems to be going after mutants.
Plus, if you
that's-
are a
That's
mutant-
kind of, yeah.
everyone wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every mutant wants to kill you. Every human doesn't understand you, so they want to kill you.
Yeah.
You're always just trying to fight for your life. In Pokemon,
But I could be part of the X-Men.
Yeah, Pokemon, nobody really fights for their lives, and even then, the villains in Pokemon are horrible at being villains.
and you don't die. You just wake up somewhere else.
I kind of want to be Team Rocket.
you just pass out. That's all that happens. You black out, and then you wake up in a Poké Center.
So you're saying Pokemon, you're basically immortal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
can also.
sounds like a horrible life.
No. It's
What?
just-
You
No,
never
you just
die.
get to adventure
Well,
for your
it's
whole
also-
life.
it's
You'll
also-
never die.
It's a little bit more joyful.
You don't have to worry about anything ever. You're like, oh, I can adventure as far as I want to for as long as I want. I don't really need
And
money because
at
if I
10
fight this guy,
years
he'll give me
old.
money.
Yeah, at 10 years old, you can experience everything. And
can leave.
if you get injured, It's like no big deal. I have a burn. I like burn my arm. No big deal. Burn heal.
I just
They literally just have items called burn heal. They probably have like cancer heal, AIDS heal,
become paraplegic.
Oh,
apparently
paralyzed
leg
heal.
heal.
No, they have paralyzed heal.
They do have paralyzed heal.
Poison.
What if you're not a Pokemon trainer and you just live forever? What do you do?
Hey, those people seem perfectly content.
Yeah, they
All
seem
the
so
NPCs
happy.
are
Everybody's
happy
fucking
as
happy.
shit.
I don't want to hide in a blade of grass all the time.
No, they're
No, they're not hiding in the beta grass. Like the bug catchers, they're also Pokemon trainers. They're out looking for bugs. The hikers, they're also Pokemon trainers.
Is there no
Fishers.
money in
There's
Pokemon?
fishers.
Anthropologist.
Anthropologist?
Anthropologist.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't think
something?
no. I think anthropology is the wrong one.
No.
Anthropology, I think, is a study of humanity.
Fossils.
It wouldn't just be fucking awesome to run across a big ass Snorlax in your way.
Yeah.
Realistically, you could probably just walk over it.
Yeah, unless
Yeah,
you
He
like
wouldn't
in a
wake
car
up.
and
He
you
wouldn't
know
move
that.
You
it.
could probably just like go and like make his stomach like a trampoline, just bounce around for a second. Like, okay, I'm going to work.
You
It'd
probably
be
just
like Totoro.
stop and take a nap on him.
What?
Stop and take a nap on him. He looks soft.
Yeah.
I've always wanted those beanbags
Just make
that are
sure he
shaped
doesn't
like a
do.
Snorlax.
Make sure he
Oh,
doesn't do
that's
body
cool.
slam.
Yeah.
Or roll out.
But even then, that doesn't seem to kill you because Team Rocket has been crushed by Snorlax almost every episode that
They've
he's
gotten
in.
exploded. They've gotten burnt, and electrocuted.
They've
and
been thrown
crushed.
thousands of miles. They don't die.
That's
How
true.
fun-
They're always kicked into the sky to where they just turn into a little.
And in the
I think-
Pokemon world, you could be part of Team Rocket. How fucking fun would that be?
Yeah, I want to be
That's-
friends with them.
I guess that'd be pretty cool.
I would be in Team Rocket 100%.
And
Giovanni, he's totally a pussy.
I was saying Giovanni seemed like an asshole, but
He's a pussy.
But
I
really,
guess it
what-
doesn't matter. You can clearly do whatever you want
But-
once you're in.
but in terms of supervillains, they're not even that bad compared to the supervillains that would be around in like superhero worlds.
I say Jesse and James are like the worst supervillains.
Well,
Like,
but
in
even like the
Pokemon
good
world.
ones, like Butch and Cassidy.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't.
the better Team Rocket.
They were they were way better, and they had cooler clothes.
They had better like lines at the beginning.
Yeah,
I gotta watch Pokemon again.
Butch and Cassidy, I remember them. They were actually really good.
But even then, like the worst thing they did was just steal other people's Pokemon. I mean, and yeah,
That's like their whole business.
yeah.
is
I mean,
stealing
like
Pokemon.
stealing a guy's dog. Yeah, that sucks. But it's better than like the Joker trying to like poison the water hole or something like that.
I think I'd always be okay because I know Batman would save me
If you lived in Gotham,
if I lived in Gotham, which
Didn't
I
we
would
just watch-
because I'm a sane person.
we
Whoa,
just watch a
Batman
video?
killed 45 people on screen. We just watched that.
That's when he's being filmed.
It's
how do you
true.
know
How
like
many people
when
does
you
he kill
when you
off
could
screen?
just decide to go jade walking?
Jade walking?
Jaywalking?
What's that?
When you
When
go,
you walk
What's
across
jade
the-
walking?
That's when you walk across the
Jaywalking.
green street.
You're like, you know what? I don't want to walk to the end of the block. I'm just gonna jaywalk. Robin comes out because Batman obviously has better things to be doing. Robin just comes out, kicks you in the nuts.
Why wouldn't a cop just come do? I feel like Robin has better things to do.
No, he doesn't.
You know, and Batman in our world would be like the Flashpoint Batman with guns and killing and all
Yeah.
that shit.
He would totally just be murdering people left and right.
Well, it's not if they would be in our world; it's if we would be in their world.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
is that
true.
the thing?
Yeah.
I think yeah, that would be the thing.
No, the question was, do we?
Which world would you rather live in?
Okay.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't have cops because all the cops in Gotham are corrupt anyway.
Why do I have to live?
Okay,
in,
so hold on.
in
What-
Gotham?
if I'm gonna insert myself into a world, do I get
Yeah.
to choose the world?
No,
Like, do
No.
it's a random. It's a like you
That's
could get
not
stuck
fair.
in.
like I can't
That's
choose?
not
Well, like,
fair at all.
Like, I
wait,
can't.
Just
it's
because
like-
Pokemon
it's like
is
if
one
I-
world.
Hey, you could get
No,
stuck
no,
in
no.
any Pokemon season. It's whatever.
No, no, no. Can I choose
It's
to
all
go
good
into like
regardless.
Justice League cartoon or comics?
Let's put it this way: depending on like the cities, I guess where each superhero is based out of, I'd be like, you know what? I don't like Houston. I want to move to LA. That's what you would be in.
Why don't you just pick?
So you'd basically be in another town where you don't know anybody.
But which type of like?
why don't you just pick
Like, would it be
if you
Teen
would be
Titans
in-
or Teen Titans Go universe?
Why don't you just be in the
Teen Titans
like,
Go doesn't count.
If you had to pick, just be in like a DC or a Marvel universe in general.
Marvel, because DC is fucking murderous.
DC
Yeah,
is pretty dark.
murderous.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Pretty dark.
It's too dark.
They got
I
like,
love DC.
and whenever
more than
Final
Marvel.
Crisis happens, you know, like everyone just gets wiped out.
Although I think DC, if I'm not mistaken, has more heroes that aren't superheroes.
Yeah.
Like they're not like,
Oh yeah, they have like just a large fucking amount of.
and most of them are actual
Superpower
just humans
people.
that are. Which one has more regular humans that are like superheroes?
Definitely DC.
That's DC, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Like
Marvel has way
Batman,
more superheroes.
Green Arrow.
DC is just regular people.
Like just guys.
Mostly.
Yeah, like just
Punisher's a regular guy.
yeah. Which is he? That's Marvel though, right?
Yeah.
You mean like regular guys without powers? And-
Yeah, just
Which-
like a dude that woke up one day and was like, "I'm gonna beat some ass today," and then
DC?
made
Really?
a life
I don't
out of
know.
it.
Who's there on DC that really? Green Arrow.
Green
Arrow.
Arrow. Like I
Batman.
said, billionaires.
Yeah, Green Arrow and Batman. And
Well, Slade also. He's kind of on the fence, back and
They-
forth.
yeah.
Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Harley Quinn doesn't really have any powers.
Joker.
Joker. Yeah, well, he doesn't really
Joker.
become a hero though.
He's an
He's just a
big
villain.
stupid.
Joker.
Harley Quinn kind of has the Suicide
He's like
Squad
Joker.
thing.
Harley Quinn has a comic book.
Yeah.
DC has a lot of just regular people characters.
But even then, most of them.
I think both of them. do
But most of
Marvel.
them come from money. Like all the superheroes that are regular people, like Green Arrow and Batman, are the prime examples.
Yeah.
They're billionaires. They can afford to be superheroes. If I work a 9 to 5, I'm not spending my nights fighting justice. Fighting crime.
You could be a
Fighting
daredevil.
justice.
You could be a daredevil.
What's for dinner tonight?
Daredevil,
Justice.
where he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, but like he just was like, I'm gonna fight crime. He does it, especially in like the Netflix series. He gets his ass.
Daredevil-
whooped.
But then you have a
Daredevil-
shitload of student loans from being a fucking lawyer.
Daredevil and Captain
Not if you're a
America.
successful lawyer, you're paid off.
They've always been really like I questioned how close they are to superhuman or not. Because Daredevil's blind,
Daredevil.
but his other senses are enhanced
Yeah.
due to the radiation. And then like Captain America was supposed to have like the serum was supposed to just take him to the peak of human possibility.
So he's just like J.J. Watts.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Like
you
Captain,
just-
like
you just have,
Batman's
like-
the same way. He pushes himself to the peak, but Captain America gets the serum. That
And he's
pushes
just
So
like,
steroids.
I'm cool now.
It's
I
like
guess.
yeah, one
It
super
is
steroid.
steroids. Did you watch the
it's
movie?
steroids. It just gets way too complicated in the superhero world. I'd
What-
rather be in the Pokemon world where as soon as I wake up, I'm 10 years old, you get a Pokemon.
I think for me, in the Pokemon world, I'm too angry to be in the Pokemon world.
You're too angry to
I'm
be in the
too
Pokemon
like
world?
everyone would just piss me off with their niceness way too much.
I'm too impatient.
Yeah, I played the first games which I don't even remember what they were, red and blue. Or,
I'm imagining a little one like being
Yeah,
like
seriously.
pissed off at
I'm just
the
like this game
like-
takes forever. I just want to fight people. So I would just like I don't know. I feel like I'd be like that as an adult. I'd just be like, everybody has Pokemon, and I fucking hate Pokemon. I'd be just like kicking my Pikachu, like, get the fuck out of here.
So what you're saying is
Get
that
a
you'd rather be in
job.
the
Bring money to
superhero
the
world.
table.
You'd rather be in the superhero world and just go around punching random people in the face.
Yes.
That's Grand Theft Auto.
That's not superhero world. That's Grand Theft Auto.
Technically, if I lived in the superhero world, there's a chance that if I did want to start punching people in the face, I could do it.
Yeah,
If I wanted
but-
to start killing people like the Punisher, I could do it.
But that would
I'll just
make
say
you a-
justice.
You can't just say justice after killing everybody.
Punisher just says justice, but he doesn't really do it. Like, you get what I mean? He'll kill people and say that it's justice.
We'll find out next year.
Oh, when he comes to
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I really hope that happens now.
I'm going with the chance that, like, knowing my curiosity, somehow I could be involved in a random lab accident. I'll be like, hey guys, what are you doing? Whoa, don't spill that on me.
No, what's the
and
closest?
then bam, I got superpowers.
What's the closest you've ever been to a lab? Period.
What's a school? There's labs at school.
Okay,
Shut your face,
if you're
girl.
going by
There's
that,
labs
then
at school.
every single student would end up being a superhero.
I would
That's
just try
clearly not the
really,
case.
really hard.
If Spider-Man, if
Spider-Man
Spider-Man were in
really
your
hard-
world,
Okay.
Okay, if
What if I got
Spider-
bit on a field trip and I got bit by a radioactive like
if
bug
we've
of
learned
some
anything,
kind?
the people who purposely try to become superheroes are the ones who get fucked up in the end, and they become villains.
Which one?
All of them.
Nope, that doesn't count. Give me one, Kramer.
Who is? Was it Octavia? The
Dr. Octopus.
Doc-
he
Yeah.
didn't, he didn't try.
you didn't try?
No.
Next one.
No, it was an accident. I'm gonna knock you down.
Okay, well, who has purposely tried and become a superhero?
Huh?
Who has purposely tried and successfully became a superhero?
No one's tried.
No one's tried?
Typically,
Batman.
I mean, Iron
Batman.
Man.
He didn't want to be a superhero.
Iron
But he had billions of
I-
dollars. If you had billions of dollars, you could easily be like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a shitload of weaponry and body armor.
I'm
No,
saying most
if I had
billionaires are
billions-
not going to want to do that at all.
If I did that and I went out in the streets, I would get shot the first time, and I would die.
Well, but Batman didn't just go out.
It would go like
he went and got like a belt.
you get stabbed,
Yes.
you go out and get hit by a car,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't live.
No.
I imagine like Batman before he actually became Batman was like, you know what? I have a shitload of money. I'm gonna enroll in every single martial arts school I can find. I'm gonna buy every single gun or like get all these gadgets, and
Every
then I'm
single
gonna try
gun.
this.
I'm gonna buy every single gun so no one can ever kill each other ever again.
I'll control crime. You're doing the wrong thing, Batman.
Yeah.
Are you trying to have a monopoly on crime?
If I wanted, I could have a monopoly on crime.
Do you have billions of dollars?
I don't need it. I'll just rise through the ranks.
What do you mean?
He's gonna go undercover.
I'll line up with someone, and then I'll just rise through their ranks by being a good goon.
You know what? I
And then
don't
I'll have
even.
my own empire.
Hey,
I don't even
boss.
think Juan prefers to live in the superhero world. I think he just wants to be in a world where he can openly be an asshole to everyone.
I think so.
I do always side
without
with
the
the villains.
consequences.
Yeah.
Anything, I side with the villains.
If you go to Arkham, he'll get out.
And like
Yes, easily.
the three of us, we just
Arkham's
want to
like
have
a
fun in the
vacation.
Pokemon world. He just wants to go around punching people in the face.
I just want to do the equivalent of like training hunting dogs in Canada.
Basically.
Yeah, I like that.
I just want to walk around and be like, "Hey, what's up? I have a dog. Want to go hunting?" And they'd be like, "You know what? I don't know you,
Hunting?
but yeah, let's go."
What was the?
I just
wanna
want
just
to. I
cause
just want to
mayhem.
be the very best.
Like,
no one ever was.
I don't even want to be the best. I just want to be like.
I just want to be
Burn that.
mediocre.
I just want to control
I
something.
just want. What was that song?
Apparently,
I
you want to
wanna
be mediocre and
kinda
rise to
good.
be the
Oh, but
best.
then, no, I'm talking on their level.
Oh.
Oh man,
I don't want to.
What was
cause
what,
mayhem.
what was the first Pokemon you chose from the three?
from the three. Well, I had Pokemon
Charmander.
Yellow, so I got stuck with Pikachu. I, don't,
Charmander.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Pokemon Yellow, so I automatically got Pikachu.
I fucking hated Pikachu when I first.
What?
I
Because he
was like,
followed you?
huh? No, I just was like, I don't want Pikachu.
But
He
see, I
seems
like,
lame.
I like Squirtle the best. I just don't like
Squirtle's a boss.
Blastoise better than Charizard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blastoise is kind of Wartortle.
He is cool. He was kind of an asshole. I liked him.
Squirtle was a boss on the show,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Squirrel
Squirtle
Squad.
Man.
leading his pack.
Or-
Squirtle Squad.
Squirtle Squad.
Squirtle.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur was the savior. He always that's all he did. Was like save them or save a Pokemon or save Ash.
It's like I'm falling from a cliff. Thanks, Bulbasaur.
I think Bulbasaur.
I watched that recently, that
Bulbasaur was
episode.
like our Tom, because Tom was always the one who's like, guys, don't do that, you'll get arrested.
Yeah.
Bah, bah. But Charmander's the least safe Pokemon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he
He was
dies
so
if it
cool.
He could
rains.
just be around the house lighting like the curtains on fire when he walks past it because of his tail.
And he dies if it rains, or if the sprinklers go off.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he would set the sprinklers off.
If there's a fire, he dies.
Why does a Pokemon address that? That like having a Charizard is just bad.
But they just put him in the Pokeball.
What is it like in the Pokeball?
Yeah, that's
Have they
an
showed
answer
that?
that has never. That's a question that's never been answered.
I don't know. I imagine
I like to imagine they're really cramped up in there and they're just uncomfortable.
they're just like shoved in a
I
bag.
like to imagine
I
it's
like-
like I Dream of Jeannie.
I like to
Oh,
imagine.
where she's got her own little place in there.
Yeah, she's just chilling on the couch.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like the Harry Potter tent, where they have a little tent. It's a big ass fucking utopian house
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
think one day I wanted to see like the I Dream of Genie thing come to like fruition. Where in one of the episodes they summon a Pokemon and he's like just in a lying down position holding a remote and he's like, the fuck?
they did a robot.
I was in the
chicken
middle of the
sketch
house, you asshole.
They did a robot chicken sketch where Pikachu gets called into the Pokeball, and it's like a dance party in there, and there's other Pikachu girls, and he starts snorting coke, and he's just partying, he's drinking, and he's doing this little dance number, and then he gets called out, and he's like, Pikachu, I need you, and he kind of like, ah shit, and he drinks a Red Bull, slaps himself, and he's got bags under his eyes, and he gets out, and he sees he's facing a Charizard, and he's just like, Pikachu. He just looks all coked out and tired.
Robot Chicken's the best.
I don't know. I've always just liked, like even when I was a kid, I was that kid that would like walk around like exploring, woods and shit, just like exploring. That's all I want to do. In the Pokemon world, there's nothing wrong with that. And apparently, you can be a 10-year-old walking around. You don't get raped.
You don't
get kidnapped.
I guess that's the best thing about Pokemon World is you don't get raped.
Yeah, somehow there's no pedophiles in the Pokemon world.
When some older man says, "Hey, do you want to see my Pokemon?" It's not an invitation for rape.
It's not candy in that universe.
Hey, do you want to see my Arbok?
Oh.
My Doug trio?
When someone asks you if you want candy, it's just to level your Pokemon, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, there was I did hear about two things where two Pokemon did actually die, and they were both in the manga. One was because they didn't actually die. One was an Arbok, where like a Charmeleon cut the Arbok in half.
With what move?
I don't know. He like
Slash?
I guess, and he like slashed the Arbok in half.
It wasn't a scratch.
But then it grew back, like the body just grew back somehow, which really weirded me out because I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, they shed their skin.
Does that mean Pokemon never died?
I don't know. And then the other one where they were saying that Pokemon died, where Giovanni had like frozen a whole bunch of Magmar, and then he was like, I don't need these, and he tossed them into lava.
Oh shit.
And then somebody was like, they're like, yeah, so all those Magmar died. But in the show, the Magmar lives in the lava.
Yeah.
Maybe he just putting them back home.
The
Yeah,
way
Maybe
they kill them
Giovanni
is to
is
shatter
the
them
true
when they're
savior
frozen.
of Pokemon.
Huh?
Maybe Giovanni is the true savior of Pokemon.
He
And
might
he's
be.
catching all the Pokemon to just put them in a nice like sanctuary or release them back into the wild so people don't catch them.
Yeah. He's the actual owner of the Safari Zone.
Well, there was the
Fucking
the,
hated
like,
the Safari Zone.
the graveyard tower thing.
What's the
Pokemon.
graveyard tower?
Oh
Was that
yeah,
tower,
where all
the
the
tower of fucking dead Pokemon.
it's all the ghost Pokemon.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Wait, but you can train ghost Pokemon.
Yeah, but are ghost Pokemon like dead? Like a Ghastly? Is it like a dead? Like
He's someone's fart that just lived on forever.
is a Ghastly a dead Voltorb?
I could have sworn
Could be.
that the ghost Pokemon were ghosts of something.
Yeah, they're ghosts of something.
But aren't ghost Pokemon like
Fucking haunt.
they'll haunt the shit out of you, right? So you mean if you've treated a Pokemon real bad and he dies, he could haunt you forever?
Like fucking Lavender Town, that creepy ass fucking
It's all
place.
haunted,
with the,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
With all
Remember
the
the
ghost
creepy
That
ass
music was
music?
fucking great. I love that music.
I couldn't stay in that town for very long.
Really?
That was
Maybe
fun.
that town had like ritualistic Pokemon sacrifice, and that's why it's haunted.
It was on an ancient Pokemon burial ground.
Yes,
It was built on top
they
of
built
one.
on that. That's horrifying. If that could happen like anywhere else, that sets a precedent that it could happen anywhere else, and it's scary. I don't want Pikachu to haunt me forever. He's like, let's just be friends. I'm like, I've moved on. You have the lifespan of like 10 years tops.
Is Gyarados the Loch Ness monster, sort of?
Oh.
Or is that what was that? Lapras?
Lapras.
Lapras.
Yeah. I think Lapras is like the Loch Ness monster.
Which Lapras? Is that the first?
It's the big one with the shell.
Is it the one that looks like?
It actually looks like the Loch Ness
Monster.
monster. It's
The
got
with
like
the hard shell?
Yeah,
It's got a hard shell. It's like a long neck.
Was that in the first one?
kind of like a
50?
brontosaurus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the original 150.
Yeah.
I don't remember Lapras.
Kind of looks like a big brontosaurus with a like spiky shell, but it's water. It has flippers.
Yeah.
Here's that episode with Jinx. Jinx.
Which one's Jinx?
The one that
Jinx
looks
is
like
one
Nicki
of
Minaj.
Yeah.
You know what? Say no more because I instantly got the picture. I knew exactly which one you're talking about.
Okay, I remember Lapras now.
What I did hear was Golduck, the evolved form of Psyduck, was originally supposed to be like an ancient Japanese sea monster.
Golduck's fucking awesome.
It was like it wasn't the Kappa or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what it's called, the Kappa.
The Kappa?
The Kappa.
But it was a weird like Japanese monster that had something where it would attack people. Or something like that.
So that's where that idea came from?
Yeah, like they're all like based off of some sort of, I don't know, something.
Well, okay. I don't know where I was going with that.
Man,
I was going to get back on topic.
What was that big dragon?
Dragonite?
No, Dragon.
Dragonzord.
Wasn't Dragonite the first form?
No,
Dragonite
it
was
was
the last one.
Dratini.
Dratini,
Dragonair.
Dragon, and Dragonite.
Yeah.
That's like basically Godzilla.
That's Godzilla.
Freak the fuck out.
Well, but they're not all actually that big. Like that big one that it went at the lighthouse.
Yeah.
The regular ones are like 10 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, if you live in the Marvel universe and Marvel makes Star Wars comics, does that mean Star Wars is real now?
I think it works like they did in Watchmen. Because in Watchmen, they didn't have...
Oh my god.
In the world of Watchmen, where like the superheroes are real, they had comics about pirates.
Yes.
So I don't know if they would actually have
A
like.
third world just interjected itself. I would live in Star Wars world.
You would live in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Star Wars? Star Wars world?
Totally.
Star Wars world looks fucking terrible to live in.
Yeah,
On
everybody just.
Tatooine, maybe.
Or
No,
Hoth.
everybody just
Don't
either
live
lives
on
in a
Hoth
slum
either.
or a desert.
Off, yeah.
It's because every planet, it only has like one thing. It's either a desert planet,
Yeah,
or
no.
it's an ice planet,
I really
or it's
like
a
that.
planet that's a giant city. Like it has
Or a
one
jungle.
specific
It's
like
just a jungle.
yeah, like nature like to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't live in the Star Wars universe, not by choice.
Be fucking
The only
awesome.
jobs I think you have is to either live on those planets and like be a moisture farmer, or
There's a bunch of
be a
fucking
smuggler,
There's a bunch of fucking peaceful planets and stuff.
or run a cantina.
But the quality of life compared to right now where we're at is garbage.
But there's the chance that you could have a lightsaber.
No, but I
There's
imagine
a
their
tiny
economy
chance.
just sucks.
How many Jedis are there to the, you know?
Not very many after they
No,
arrive.
there's like depending on which time period. What would you be in, like episode 4?
You didn't have to choose an episode. I mean, there's timelines that they've done stories on way before
Yeah,
all the
so
movies.
you could live thousands of years before, where there's still a crap load of Jedis.
I might consider it if I was like a Sith.
Yes,
Yeah, honestly. I played as a Sith in like 19.
but there can only be 2. which
Not
is
in the old
dumb.
days.
Oh yeah, up until was it Darth Plagueis that said there should only be 2.
Probably.
But maybe a Sith.
I would totally be a Sith, but anything else sucks ass.
Darth Maul.
What about you could be a cool Han Solo smuggler?
Even that, did you see the bullshit Han Solo had to go through? I don't want to do any of that.
I think that would be kind of cool.
Do you
'Cause
wanna-
I remember
You could be a bounty hunter. There's a shitload of them.
we were.
That's like all there is.
That'd be pretty
Exactly.
Star
fun.
Wars is full of bounty hunters.
Like the only job is either to
What do they
farm
buy?
some bullshit or shoot somebody. That's the only
I'm okay
jobs.
with that.
One, was it me and you who had that conversation of like all the different shows that actually are like it's futuristic space travel, like Cowboy Bebop or Outlaw Star. Those are cool only if you're like an outlaw or something like that.
Yes.
But if they actually had a mission when they're like, hey, we're gonna send a bunch of people to live on Mars, do you want to go? It wouldn't actually be like that.
No.
You would basically just be like a radish farmer on Mars.
Yeah,
Because
it'd have to be already established, and then you'd have to like be an outlaw for
Look,
yeah.
any of those universes to be really cool.
What you're looking at is like the contrast between what you do now and being a professional athlete.
That's true. All the superheroes, if you're in the superhero world, unless you have a mutated superpower, you have to train constantly.
Yeah, Cap does that. Technically he could gain weight and shit
Really?
if he stops. Yeah.
So you have
I
to
never seen
technically-
anyone else train.
Juan, I've never seen you train, period.
I don't train. This is not the question, Kramer.
That's
of course,
the whole point, though.
If you
is
keep
like-
superheroing though, you get your exercise.
Yeah.
If you keep superheroes,
Like
no, but
Spider-Man,
they still have to work
constantly
out.
Has to,
Well, but Spider-Man, no, I'm saying
But
if
they
you're
never show
not.
them working out.
Well,
the only
that's
person
what I'm
I've
saying.
ever
Like,
seen
if you
work
have
out
a
is Batman and
superpower,
Captain America.
Yeah, people who don't have powers.
Or Daredevil maybe.
Which brings the whole question, like, you know, when we're listening to Plumbing the Death Star, why Nightcrawler fat?
Like
Since he
Spider-Man
teleports everywhere.
Spider-Man
He
didn't
should
really
have.
lose.
Why is he so skinny? It's the same type of thing. They don't show it because they don't need to do it.
but that's if you have the superpower, and even then, people hate you because you have the superpower.
Who hates you because you have a superpower? You're throwing in random
we were
stuff.
just talking about the X-Men being persecuted.
That's X-Men.
That's mute.
What about
Mutants.
Superman when everybody turned on him and Batman had to go whip his ass?
Isn't that what Civil War
No.
is about?
No,
Because they have to register all the superheroes.
that's
Well,
them.
that's-
That's a totally different.
That's
thing.
about the government not liking how out of control young, like inexperienced superheroes are.
Well, look at Watchmen. They were persecuted and driven into stopping because
Yeah.
the world was like, look, no.
That's true. With Watchmen, definitely.
I gotta give that a watch again.
We could watch it again. We'll be the Watchmen.
Will it be the Watchers of the
Who,
Watchmen?
who watches The Watchmen?
Who watch? We do. We watch the Watchmen.
All right.
But Watchmen is like an alternate universe. I guess it just depends which one you're living in.
Yeah, and in that one,
Because Watchmen is completely separate from everything.
and that's not even superheroes being real. That's just people being vigilantes with capes.
Yeah,
And
because
the
there's
only-
no superpowers
Yeah, the
except
only
for
one.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, he's the only one with a power
Yeah.
or
But
powers.
it happened with Batman too. They eventually turned on Batman as well. You know, the whole Harvey Dent thing. Well, that's not the only occurrence of it.
Hey,
but,
they
you
didn't
know.
put that in there. He killed Harvey Dent.
They
Did
did.
Oh,
They
he
did
did.
put that
Okay.
in there.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
45 deaths.
So are you still with superheroes then?
Yeah, I'd be a supervillain.
You'd be a
But
supervillain.
you might not be. That's the whole thing.
But the
Anybody
chance-
can pick up a Pokeball.
But I
Not-
can, if I really, really tried.
You could be a supervillain
I
right
could see
now in
Juan
this world.
becoming a psychiatrist so he could meet the Joker.
Yeah, I'll just be like, I'll be the new Joker.
You'd be
Well,
Harley
but you
Quinn.
know, Juan, you
He
you
would
could
kill
still
your
do that
ass,
now.
man.
You could,
This is true. I don't want to be with it.
the thing is, you could still do that now.
You could do that.
You could still become like a psychotic killer.
But where's the fun in that?
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
If
That's because you don't have Killer Croc with you. And
You could be a gang of like
And Harley
super
Quinn.
awesome super villains,
you could start your own gang,
but it's a different thing. It's not.
how
it's
is it
not
different?
The same.
How is it different?
Because you could have super villains. Even if I didn't have superpowers, I feel like I could have something that could help me, like some kind of supervillain technology.
Why
So
would
what you're
have a
saying
bat?
is that you want to be a supervillain now. You're just too lazy to do it. Or
No,
in the superhero
it's
world,
because you
there
can't-
would be something that would help you out.
It's because then you'd be living in the world of Kick-Ass and like where it's not real. You can just be a superhero. It's not the same thing comparing Kick-Ass to like the Marvel universe. You see what I mean?
But
Like,
we're saying if you lived in it, it would be real.
I don't want to live in the Kick-Ass
It
world.
would
That's
be.
No,
not,
not
real.
in the Kick-Ass world, but like if you lived in the Batman world, it would to you it would be like living in the Kick-Ass world.
No, it wouldn't. It would be like you have the chance. It would be totally different. Kick-Ass world is all like we're living right now. You put on a costume, you're gonna go fight people, but people are still like, "What? Superheroes? Why would you do that?" At least in the Batman universe, is like it's not uncommon for some guy to just be like, "I'm gonna be a superhero and rob banks."
So
or
you
something.
say you don't want to be the only one doing it.
No,
As long as there's other people doing it, it's
no.
cool.
I'm saying that the chance that you could actually be a legitimate supervillain or superhero.
Oh, so your chances are better.
Yeah. Well, not even better, but like it's more
Socially acceptable to
recognized?
become a supervillain?
I guess, like, I don't know, like, you could actually get away with being a supervillain
you
as
could
a
be
profession?
You could be a good supervillain, like the Flash's rogues.
Why don't I just...
Where
I
they
could-
don't really kill, they just rob banks for their challenge.
I could, like, in a sense, I could start an empire and then get funded by Doom and just run...
The real Dr. Doom.
Run, yeah. And just go on through that. Doom funds people. He owns his own country. It's a supervillain owning a country. He's a normal person.
Magneto has an island.
Think about that, like-
he had an island.
Just because it's hard to do doesn't mean you can't.
I think we
It'd be
just-
the same as you being a Pokemon. Just because it's really hard to be a Pokemon like master, you could still be one. Even though Ash never becomes one, like he still wants to be one. He could always become one. So therefore, if you have that chance in your world, I have that chance in my world. So you just a whole like it's just possibilities within both different worlds.
So what you're saying is that you want to be like a supreme asshole. You just can't do it right now.
Yes, there's no supervillains that own their own countries that can give me money to also.
There are
be a
supervillains that own their own country. Saddam Hussein did
I
it
was
for a
gonna
while.
say, don't say like, damn it.
You live in one,
Ooh, political.
for the most part, anyway.
Shit just got deep.
Damn, too political. Let's go back to lightheartedness.
Did,
I'm changing my answer.
Yes.
What? You're changing your answer
Yeah.
to superheroes.
Yeah.
Ryan, what if you were like, if you really wanted to be superhero, what if you're like, Peter, move out of the way of that spider, and then you get bit, and now you're Spider-Man.
But if you had that
And
power,
then
would
that
you
spider
actually,
will go like to you, and then.
And then I'll be like, okay, don't die yet, don't die yet.
and I'm gonna be like, Juan, come here, take the spider.
But what you gotta realize is normal people don't know that that's gonna. Nobody in those universes knows like there's this radioactive spider. I should try to seek it out because it's gonna give me powers. No, a normal person's like, if I get bit by that spider, it's probably gonna kill me. And you know what?
the
It
question
probably will.
isn't would I rather be Spider-Man than be me. It's would I rather live in Spider-Man's world. In which case, life would pretty much suck because there's a bunch of villains blowing shit up
Life would
everywhere.
suck if you were in Spider-Man's world and you were in high school. Because high school always got fucked up.
Yeah.
Life would suck, period, if you were in Spider-Man's world and not Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what we're
the
saying.
point.
Your chances are still really shitty to be a superhero or supervillain.
You could be the exact same person you are right now, sitting in this exact apartment. But then somebody busts through the window and fucking stabs you in the chest.
Yeah, and instead of us talking about whether or not superheroes would be real, it'd be like, dude, did you see how Superman
Or a
fucked that shit
car.
up the other day?
Comes through.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, I feel like in that world, like, okay, Ryan, do you know what is that comic series about the guys who just rebuild New York City every time it gets destroyed? Do you know what I'm talking about? I forgot what they're called.
No, there's not
Damage
a
Plan.
They're
or-
not like. There's not a. Is there a comic about them?
Yeah, there's like a
Really?
little comic about.
I know
them.
who you're talking about, of course, but I mean the cleaners. I don't know.
Yeah, they just rebuild like.
They're like these.
Are they like buffers?
They're like these
They're-
huge Hulk, big ass motherfuckers that come by and just. They're not Hulks,
There's-
but they're huge.
It's like a group of dudes that just like rebuild New York City every time it gets destroyed.
A bunch of Dwayne Johnsons come by and just like clean everything up.
Why aren't they a squad of superheroes and they're a bunch of Dwayne Johnson?
Well, see, but like, if New York City has that, and like everywhere else would have that,
So what you're saying is that even if you
it's
weren't
gonna
a
be like
superhero,
I'm gonna relate it to you more. It's gonna be like Zohan when Phantom blows up his building, and Zohan's like, "What?" And that guy's like, "You just blew my building." Zohan hands him a card that says, "We rebuild your building," type thing. It's the same thing. I'm gonna be like, "Oh man," I'm gonna be like, "Look, man, Doom and Iron Man were fighting. They blew into part of my house." And they'd be like, "Okay, well here you can stay in this hotel. We'll rebuild your house. We know how
One.
these things
They're
go."
wrecking
wait.
The
One.
wrecking.
But I'm just saying that like, it's possible. It wouldn't even. You'd be living in that world where you'd just be like, I feel like you'd be phased by anything.
Kramer, don't be so critical.
Yeah.
What?
Don't be so
Kramer
critical,
just wants to
man.
live in a super
We're
naive,
having
happy
fun
world
with it.
where he can live forever and never die, but yet be haunted by Pokemon that die. So he can see his best friends die as he lives forever. That's what he wants. That's all you want, Kramer.
Does Ash's friends die?
They have to die. Well, I meant as like a Pokemon. That's Ash's like best friend is a Pokemon.
Which
You'd
of
have a
his
best
Pokemon
friend
die, though?
Pokemon. He'd die.
You'll be
And
10
then he'd be a
forever,
ghost.
and you'll never hit puberty.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Unless I stop being a Pokemon trainer, in which case I do grow up.
I don't think that's how
It's
that
never stated. Nope, you can't do
Wait,
that.
how old is Brock?
Brock's late his 30s.
Brock is not in his 30s. Because he's still, I think, a teenager in the show.
Yeah, he's probably like 15 or 16.
I think he's seen some shit, which is why he never opens
How old's
his
Misty?
eyes.
Like, is Misty like 14, 15, something like that?
I think so.
She's also in her 30s. She thinks it's still cool to wear that little shirt.
God damn it.
So yeah, superhero world would be cool.
I changed my answer, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still with Pokemon.
It's still 2-2, unless for some reason we could convince Tom.
No.
To
I
cut-
think,
I don't
I think
think-
Tom is still like with me in terms of probability. Your chances of doing something awesome in a superhero world are pretty fucked up.
Come on, Tom. Come on. Just you want to turn on Kramer. Just
Hey, don't
That's the
you,
most convincing argument.
it really is, right?
The most
don't you,
convincing
don't you turn
argument
on me
is
just
fuck
to
Kramer.
spite me?
Just to spite Kramer.
As a bonus, though, I do choose Star Wars, if that was part of the
What?
In bonus, yeah.
Bonus,
I'd kill
I'm
Han Solo and take his Millennium Falcon.
totally against
And make
Star
Chewie
Wars.
be my best friend.
Except Chewie would rip your arm off.
No, all I'd have to do is pretend to like save Chewie's life, and then he'd owe me a life debt, and then he would be my friend forever. He has to.
Unless you fuck it up and then he realizes you're trying to trick
I'll
him,
never tell him.
and he will rip every one of your limbs off.
Okay, then I'll just go to where's the Wookiee planet, and like inadvertently saves one of them, and he'll be my best friend forever.
inadvertently.
Yeah.
I think it's
Unless you
What
advertently.
if,
the
what if you
Wookiee
go
planet.
there and you
Adverted.
try to save a Wookiee, and then you find out later it's just me and my hair has just gotten really long on my body?
Well, if you were a Wookiee, or we're growing up along the Wookiees now to fit in, you would owe me a life debt, and you'd have to be my best friend forever. Like
Oh my
now.
god, things could go horribly wrong and you could be a Jar Jar. You could be a Gungan.
Whoa!
You could be a Gungan.
Oh God, no! What if you're
A hut?
a Mandalorian?
Although I don't
Oh,
think
hell
all
yeah.
of the Gungans were nearly as annoying as Jar Jar.
Yeah.
No.
It was just Jar Jar in particular.
Yeah, I'm on the
so-
defended because it's like 7 years old. I enjoyed Jar Jar a lot.
I love Jar Jar, except for in that fucking Phantom Menace game. That one on PlayStation?
Oh, that was a horrible game.
That was the worst experience of my life. Just trying to
That was
play
a
through that
horrible
fucking,
game.
trying to go through that swamp with Jar Jar. The whole mission is don't let Jar Jar die.
Because he's such a fucking idiot.
And those are to this day, those are the worst missions.
And he runs directly into laser fire every time. And then he'll run in between you and laser fire. So that whenever the laser fire misses and you deflect it, it hits him.
Would you be in the Star Wars universe as a Hutt?
No.
You'd have a crime empire.
I don't care.
You could basically
You
like
could die a horrible
You
death.
look
you could get
like
choked
a
to death.
hut,
There's always that option.
Wait, hold on. Calm down, guys.
but
Oh,
you're
yeah,
a hut.
yeah.
Calm down.
You're right.
A hut.
Hey.
Do you really want to be a hut?
No, I don't want to be that.
I don't want to be a hut.
Oh my god, what about a
But the idea of like,
Tuscan Raider?
oh god,
No. See, there's so many species in that universe that I don't want to be.
you just have to be a Jedi or a Sith. Like,
But even
that's
then, it's
it,
still
to
a
be
numbers
cool.
game. It's still a numbers
It
game.
is a numbers game, and you're probably gonna get fucked.
Because the question isn't, do you want to be a superhero? It's, would you live in the superhero world?
If I was just me in like a superhero world or Pokemon World Star Wars, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
It would be exactly
Cool
the
with
same as now, with a bigger risk of you getting your ass whooped somewhere.
Or becoming a superhero. Class supervillain.
No, there's a little bit more of a chance of that, but there's a huge chance you're gonna get your ass whooped somewhere.
What about if someone
Wait.
like in the terms of the Flash? What if the Flash does something like, and I gain superpowers because someone else got into a lab accident?
Oh yeah, like the,
You know?
the show because the
Yeah,
thing explodes.
like that's a pretty good
The city
possibility.
gets
That could
powers.
still be like, I'm sitting here watching TV and all of a sudden I just get affected into this raise
Or-
of lab accident.
What if you're
Or you
you're
die-
dying,
powers.
Or
TV
you die
man.
because like the whole apartment complex collapses because it was too close to the lab.
Or
No,
you
they
could be
don't- no one dies
Firestorm
like
and merge with an old man.
I merged with an old man?
You could be Firestorm.
and he's in your head constantly when you're doing everything.
Ooh, I like that.
He's an old,
It's like
just angry
voyeurism.
old man.
He wasn't supposed to like that.
Is that,
I
is that
don't think I'd like an
voyeurism?
old man constantly in my
It's
head.
like having Harrison Ford in your head.
I love Harrison Ford. I love his
You would,
grumpiness.
you would love him if he was in your head.
Yes, because he's always just gonna be like, well, I just
Get
you
the
know,
fuck
I
out of my
don't
He would just be angry and racist in the back of your mind all the time.
I don't know and I don't care.
What about when you're having sex and he's like, oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man, I'm
Or
doing
Gary
it.
Busey.
He's like high fiving you in your head.
Yes, yes.
Let's have Gary Busey.
Oh,
Let's
Okay,
merge
Gary
with
Busey would be really weird.
See, you could merge with anyone. Just an old angry white man in the back of your head. It's terrible.
what if you had Bill Cosby in your head? You'd go
Pudding.
fucking crazy.
Who?
You'd go Bill.
You know what? Bill Cosby would try to push the idea of trying to like date rape
Rape?
someone.
God damn it.
He'd be like, hey, you're
Why
talking
did
to
I know
that
that was
girl.
gonna go there?
That
He's
would
like,
ruin your life.
slip this thing in her drink. I'm like, shut up, Bill Cosby.
You suddenly your arm doesn't have control of it. He pulls out pills. You're like, where'd you get those?
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I got them from the pudding.
I got the pudding.
the pudding, the pudding.
Is this went
They
from
drink
whether or
it
not
and
you would
they
live in a
go,
superhero world or Pokemon world to
Having Bill Cosby in your head.
No, which celebrity would you rather have in
What
your
if
head?
that's why Bill Cosby endorsed pudding? Because it's so easy to slip things into.
Yes.
You would never find it.
I don't want to think about this
He
anymore.
just force fed all the women in his life pudding. Huh?
So all the children.
Oh shit! Kids say the darndest things when
Things
I
went
put my
dark.
penis
We're
in
going
their
dark.
mouth.
We're going dark. We're going dark.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It mostly sounds like whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh man.
I don't know which is better. That joke was funny or that impression was so good. What was that sound again?
No.
It just sounds like a seal.
Oh.
Seal Cosby.
Oh man, fuck Bill Cosby.
I don't know why, but as soon as you said C.L. Cosby, I just imagined Bill Cosby singing Kiss by a Rose.
We don't need that. The world does not need that.
Oh man. Yeah. So come on, Tom. Change your answer.
No.
Okay, if you were in the Pokemon world, but you didn't
Now
have
he's
to
forcing
be,
you to be there.
but you didn't have to be a Pokemon trainer, what would be your other options?
I wouldn't want to do anything else. It sounds like it sucks.
You could
I don't
be-
want to work retail
It sounds like it
for the
sucks.
rest of my
It
life.
sounds like it sucks to just be happy
You could-
with
you could
whatever
be-
you're doing.
You could just be a bike shop owner and just own bikes.
I don't want to own bikes.
Sell them for $1 million fucking.
You were a bike shop owner, you'd be fucking rich.
Fucking asshole.
Exactly.
I couldn't
Only if I
believe
can
that shit.
have some kind of bike empire. Some bike monopoly in the Pokemon world where it's just me. Only the bikes go through me.
I think each like
There's
area
only
only has one bike
in
shop.
Pokemon.
What?
in each of the Pokemon games, there's only one bike shop that I can recall.
Yeah, they
Oh, you're
do have
right,
a
yeah.
monopoly in each continent or whatever.
Fucking.
Wait, is the only way to get around through bike?
And
Huh?
walking.
Dude, they
And
have
walking?
they have
And
cars.
ships. And Pokemon. You can fly.
You could fly. On a,
Superheroes can fly.
If you had
well,
flame
but
retardant pants,
again,
you
you'd
could
have
ride
to
a
be a
Rapidash, maybe.
superhero.
If what?
So if you had flame retardant pants, you could probably ride a Rapidash or something.
No, actually, with Rapidash and Ponyta,
Vulpix. I don't know. Just like Pokemon.
their flames only hurt you if they want them to hurt you.
What about
That is-
Charmander and then the involuntary?
No, Charmander's
Charmander's walking around burning your curtains.
hurt you.
As far as I know,
He's like,
Ponyta and Rapidash are the only ones who can like subdue their flames, or make them like not hurt.
Not lethal?
It's in the show. Like they're like,
Stupid.
Maybe they
except
just bring it
Ponyta-
down to embers or something. You know, I don't know.
Embers burn.
Or if it's just warm.
Ember is an attack.
It's just warm. That's weird.
Like, why are you riding that Ponyta all day? Like, leave me alone.
What else could I do in the Pokemon universe? Other than own a shop or work at a clinic
You could work at the
or hide
safari
in
zone.
tall
There's
grass.
fishermen that just fish for fucking Magikarp all day.
Oh, that sounds the worst.
That guy with 6 magic cards.
Every
You
now
could
and
be
then you get a
Sailor Jerry.
Gyarados or something, or a horsey.
You could be Sailor Jerry, or you could be Bugcatcher Ron.
I hate bugs.
You could be a firefighter that has nothing but Squirtle.
Are there lots of fires in the Pokemon universe?
I imagine if there's Charmander, it's not even a fire.
Oh, that must suck. You're like always on call because the Charmander walked through the forest and now there's a 2-mile forest fire because there was no water this time.
But you know what? You would have water Pokemon to put it out, and it would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, you just have
You
a
just
fucking
show up and be like-
Blastoise.
Go.
Blastos
How
would
do
knock the
Pokemon-
building down.
How do Pokemon get around the fact that you like using them? They just never question it?
Well, I mean, they don't like you in the beginning. They fucking hate what's going on when you
They're
catch
like
them.
So they all have Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah.
What?
Fine.
You get like when you train a pet. Pets like you,
Eventually.
eventually.
Or immediately.
So it depends on the animal, yeah.
It is kind of like dogs.
You,
and
you have
cats.
to develop a friendship. It's a partnership. It's give and take.
Yeah,
But where's the part
get
where you
your
just
ass
take
beaten for me,
everything from
and
them?
then
What?
Where's the part where you just make them do everything?
They are getting their asses handed to them for you.
Yeah.
It's give and take until it's all just take.
You could just put on rubber gloves and you'll be okay.
Could you never? I don't know why. I feel like if you just touch Pikachu, he'd shock you.
Rubber
Like
gloves.
not trying. Like he's just always.
Oh, that would
He's
suck.
like someone who's been rubbing their feet on the floor with socks. You just touch him, you're like, ow! You shocked me. And you're like, I'm sorry. I feel like it's Pikachu all the time. Yeah.
Could be.
Oh, here's another thing. How would they look? Have y'all seen images?
Oh,
of, like,
Oh,
real
I've seen the
life.
real life one. Those are
Those do
scary.
look weird. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
That's why I was saying, like, if I were to be in the Pokemon world,
And you'd run across.
I'd want to be a little anime me, you know? Like,
Okay, yeah,
in
you'd
that
have to
world.
be the anime because a little yellow squirrel for a Pikachu would kind of freak me out.
How tall is Pikachu? Like at least knee high?
No.
Nah,
Raichu's about knee high.
foot maybe.
Half a foot, yeah.
Really? Oh, he's really small.
I think Raichu's about like 2 feet.
I'd imagine they wouldn't be in nearly the abundance in real life that they are in the cartoon either. Like it'd be like
Pikachu?
real animals right now. Like I mean, you'd see like Rattatas running around like squirrels and stuff like that, but you wouldn't necessarily run across a Charizard any more than you'd run across a black bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, you have to actually go out and find the more dangerous ones.
Yeah, it's not
Yep.
gonna be a Charizard just chilling down the street. It's gonna be over in like
I would never
Malaysia
go
or something.
into those fucking caves.
Never go into caves or tall grass.
Because
Yeah.
I would just be annoyed by those fucking Zubats.
Okay,
I stay on those little roads.
I did find something that would piss me off if I was in the Pokemon world. If I'm like walking down a dirt path and there's like a bush in the dirt path, fuck, I can't walk down this road anymore. Until I go find a Pokemon that learns how to do like landscaping.
Well,
Or-
there is
or
a-
cuts.
you could do repellent, remember? You could just spray yourself with something and you won't get attacked.
That's true, but then that bush is still there and I can't get to the
But
other
like
town.
it's blocking the road, so he's like, well, I
Oh,
guess I
you
gotta
mean a
find
tree?
another way.
It's
Yeah.
a tree. Okay.
Poor city
I thought you
planning.
meant you didn't want to have
More
a
city
chance.
planning.
Pokemon's full of poor city planning. They don't have good engineers.
They don't have any
'Cause it's
round roads.
post-apocalyptic.
No roads curved. They're all like little jagged
Yes.
corners.
How many villages are there? Like, how big of a world is this?
Well, there's different regions, so that's kind of how it is whenever you go through the different games and the different seasons of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's specific regions of the world that all have different Pokemon. Like the rainforest has different animals than America has. It's kind of how that works.
So ballpark, there's like 200 villages.
Well,
I don't know.
is it like that, or is it like, because I know
Is their world smaller than ours?
it's like the Indigo Plateau isn't like the entire world.
No, it's like I said, small regions. That's why in the first game it's only those specific Pokemon. Then in
Yeah,
another
yeah.
game, it's a completely different set of Pokemon.
Yeah,
not
like when
even
you go to
those.
the Johto League, it's a
Yeah,
whole new.
It's like different
wildlife.
parts of the world, basically, like different
I
countries,
don't even know what
different
the fucking
continents.
Johto League is.
Me neither.
It's the one that comes after the 150.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the next set.
So that's
Would you be in the Pokemon world? Would you be mad or happy that like you learned all about the 150 and then someone's like, "There's 300 more."
I'd be hella happy. That's like, hey, you should go to this other country because there's a shitload more things you can catch.
Yeah,
How come they weren't discovered before?
Because it wasn't written yet.
But if you lived in that world, what would be the real reason? Is it like
I'm
it
going
just
back
clo-
to my theory
is
where
it just
Pokemon
clo-
are just evolving randomly.
Well,
and new
like we said
species.
before,
Well, we still discover new species every day.
I mean,
in our world.
Plus, didn't you mention the technology's
but
not
not-
quite there? Maybe they don't have telecommunications.
That's what I'm
in the
thinking.
entire
That
world.
it's so like they
yeah.
have technology in the weirdest spots. They have technology related to like Pokemon and Pokemon things, but not real world
Human
like,
things.
Anything else like is really like
Because they don't care about anything else.
yeah. It's
Also,
priorities.
Pokemon World, free healthcare.
Yeah.
just, okay.
And always a familiar face in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free healthcare, not bad, not bad.
You never have to take a piss or a dump.
Whoa, that's your life. No wonder Kramer picked Pokemon. Never have to take a dump again.
Well, I think that also would translate to the superhero ones, because have we ever seen, in what like comic do they have them where they're sitting on the toilet?
I feel like Deadpool's been on the toilet.
I mean, no,
Yeah,
I mean it's
okay.
it's definitely insinuated that they have to do that kind of stuff.
Well, but in the show,
Batman pissed himself once.
But
What?
Kevin
Who?
Smith wrote that.
Really?
Yeah.
which superhero?
Batman.
In the 52s?
No, it was before all that. He wrote a comic where he confessed to some other superhero. He's like, I had an accident one time. Like,
Well, I imagine
fucking Kevin Smith.
It's very un-Batman.
in the Pokemon show, I'm pretty sure somebody has had to go use the restroom at some point. I can't name the episode, but I'm pretty sure it's
I
come
bet
up.
you he can.
Is Pikachu just shitting pellets everywhere?
I imagine at one point, because it seems like a very Ash
Take a
thing
shit.
to be like, I gotta go, guys.
Maybe.
Yeah. You know, if I lived in my
Oh.
superhero world again, I'd learn magic.
Which
Magic
Gathering?
exists.
No.
I'd learn
hey,
magic.
that's what Dr.
Anyone
Strange,
can do
That's
that.
what Doctor Strange did.
Yeah.
He learned to do this kind of shit, and he fucking did it.
From the wings of the Yeah.
What if
I
we
go
could-
around collecting magic artifacts and looking at all that like super interesting like myth things that's real now.
So you'd be like an archaeologist?
I wouldn't like if you lived in that world, while you could just be exactly where we are now. Well, you lived in that world, why not do something really cool in the same way?
What if we were the one person that like Hulk landed on, just jumping from one place to another on accident because he doesn't know?
I could be Galactus's herald. That's cool. He could be here and I'd be like,
He's
I'll
got some
be your
strong-
Silver Surfer.
He's got some strong aspirations.
Give me
This
the
one.
gives me all the cosmic powers.
You know how often you would park your car, walk in somewhere, and come out and your car smashed?
That's
or
true.
thrown over there?
Like Superman just
I don't
got
think-
it in hand.
I just feel like it's
need
maybe
this.
not as often as y'all make it seem. Like every day something's going down.
He's
I
like,
think,
I gotta
I think it
borrow-
would be
He's
enough
like-
to where car insurance has to have that as part of their policy.
But
I
then-
feel like car
what's
insurance
gonna
just
suck-
probably doesn't even exist.
What would suck? What would suck?
They're like,
more,
look, you have way more chance of getting destroyed, so it's not even a thing anymore.
What would suck more is like Superman grabs your car and he's like, I need to use this. I know it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, it's
But
just
I'm
gonna
gonna
bounce
throw
off
it.
this guy.
They never actually do anything.
They never
No.
know. He has to throw another one after that, and it still doesn't work.
I
What
think
about
it's hilarious
buses?
that in all
Stick
those,
to the government.
It took a
vehicles.
train. Remember in the movie, a train had to take them down.
Yeah.
A part of a train.
I think it's hilarious that whenever they do throw a vehicle, that there's never that one guy who it's actually his car going, guys.
I bet somewhere there's probably like, no, I had one more payment on that.
You zoom in on like the episode into like the glass of the like a window of an apartment building, and it's just a guy mouthing, "What the fuck?"
And you know what? They never look to see if somebody's in that car.
They don't. There could be a baby in there.
There could be a child in that
remember
car.
Injustice?
Yeah.
Okay, so Injustice, there's little mini games in between the fights that you do sometimes, where Black Adam was throwing cars at Superman, cars that were coming by. He would grab them, throw them at Superman, and the mini game was to shoot them out of the air with heat vision. He didn't
With the people in
he
there.
didn't grab the car and like shake them out and then throw it. He just took it and threw it, and you blew them the fuck up.
That is the
And I was like,
greatest
why
thing.
didn't they think about that? He destroyed like 20 cars with people.
Okay, Ryan. So since you want to be in the superhero world,
I'm not saying that's reality. I'm just
no,
making
but
fun of.
it seems that it's easier to be a supervillain in that world than it is to be a hero. Would you agree? Because to me it seems. Because think about it. For every hero, there's like 5 villains,
That doesn't mean it's easier.
but it's more common. So you're more
I would
likely to
say
end
it's
up
more
being a
common.
supervillain than you are to be a superhero.
You're still more likely to end up being neither.
Well,
That's true.
I don't want to be an asshole.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, because
I do.
Juan is quite fine with being an asshole. He's like, I'm glad my chances of being an asshole are better than me being a good guy. But you, I know you, Ryan. You're a good guy.
Yeah, if I looked like fucking Killer Croc, I still wouldn't bite someone's head off.
You could be Super Killer Croc.
Super Killer Croc. Super Croc is better.
All right.
Pretty good.
You could be non-killer croc.
Non-Killer
Yeah.
Croc.
Not Killer Croc.
You could
Yes.
be the.
I'm not a killer croc.
I'm not a killer croc. I'm not a killer croc. I'm just a croc. It's just my face.
Smiles with his teeth.
But technically, that makes your chances of being a decent superhero less? Or does it seem easier that it is to be a villain than it is to be a hero?
Well, the thing has always been that it's harder to be a hero.
Grimmer, that's just life.
It's harder to be
It's hard
good
to be good than it
than
is to be
bad.
bad.
It's the truth of
So,
life.
invalid question.
Fair enough.
Rejection.
Fine, I'll give on that one.
I spit in my Mountain Dew. But all over me.
I'm reading a comic right now called The Boys, where superheroes exist in the world, and it's hyper violent, realistic sort of thing. And in the very big, and there's a character based off of Simon Pegg, and he loved that.
That's cool.
So he's with his girlfriend in the very beginning of the comic, and I think he proposed to her. And they're getting on, they're all happy, and they hold hands, and they're spinning around, and some dude comes flying by, and like runs in, like flies into her because he got punched or something like that into the wall, and you see his imprint on the, or like him hit, in the wall, and her like arms behind him, but her hands are like torn off. He's still holding her hands.
Damn.
And that's something I was thinking about when Tom brought that up. Like,
Yeah, that's this thing that happens.
yeah.
Okay. Now, instead of
I still choose it.
which universe
choose superheroes.
would you want to live in?
Sorry, what?
Instead of like which one of these 2 universes you'd want to live in, what is the one universe out of all of them you would not want to live in?
Out of just those 2?
No, out of
anything.
any.
Out of anything,
I already have mine picked.
Oh man.
Attack on Titan.
fucking Dragon.
Oh,
Attack on Titan.
I would
shit.
not want to. Everybody dies.
No, fuck that. That's the worst universe.
That's
ever.
what I'm
You're
saying.
right,
Like,
yeah.
is that the
Did you
which one is the
guys
least one
see
that you
the
want to live
leak?
in?
Huh?
Did you guys see the Attack on Titan leak?
The movie?
No, I haven't watched
The
it.
whole
Mo-
movie was leaked.
The movie is like DVD. The movie's coming out like this month, I think.
The
Sep-
whole
no, September.
came
movie
out,
was
I thought.
leaked.
No, I think it's
all
coming
of
out. Part 1 September,
Oh.
I think, and then part 2 is October, I think.
I watched the ending. I didn't watch the whole movie. I watched the ending because I didn't feel like reading the subtitles. 'Cause
can't
it's mostly
really-
story based.
You can't really like spoil that for yourself, though. Is it really?
Is it like the show? Or
Yeah,
the
is
comic?
it faithful?
I heard.
Yeah, it's good. It's the CGI is weird. The whole movie's really dark.
Yeah, I
Like
got that. by the
really dark
trailers.
because the whole movie is made in CGI. Basically, it's all green screen. The entire thing for the most part. So
I'd imagine.
it's really dark lit and kind of strange. But the Titans look fucking weird because they have real people faces.
Ugh.
Like real people faces, like Japanese people faces, and it's
Damn.
really strange because somebody had to do these like face
Like motion capture for them?
motion capture for them.
Oh, I
These are
And
probably
they had to do
that
those
for a living.
creepy ass smiles. And
Yeah,
shit.
they were weird
Ugh.
like faces and just kind of like drooly, lifeless. Like it was.
I
Really
would love
strange.
that job. Like, hey, we need you to come into the studio today and do more faces. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, it was.
That's a
strange.
zombie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of skipped through it and then I watched the ending of it.
Where does it end?
It ends right when Mikasa cuts Eren out of the Titan.
After he
Oh.
busts some heads? Oh,
Yeah.
great.
So it's basically season 1.
Yeah.
That's about halfway through season 1.
Yeah, it's almost through it. So I guess part 2 is finishing season 1, most likely. That's cool.
I would say that's a lot to pack in, but not really. They could easily streamline that movie. I mean, that story.
Yeah, you can take out a lot of stuff.
But it's worth more money in multiple parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Just like Avengers.
Just Avengers and Justice League. They're going to be in 2
Justice
parts.
League.
Plus, I imagine the coding and everything on those movies, since it's all CGI, probably takes forever. So if they were to try to like do the whole thing, it would be a lot to do at once.
Yeah.
I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're almost there. They said 2016, so.
Nice.
Sometime.
Okay.
Oh, real quick. I watched a couple more episodes of DBZ.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen any of it
DBZ
yet.
Super. Sorry.
I haven't seen it yet. Any of it.
I got to the episode
Uh-huh.
where it fucking sucked ass.
Oh,
The drawing, the animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for the people who weren't listening last time, we were talking about how somebody was saying
I
that
think
the
you brought it up in
animation.
the first episode.
Huh? Yeah, they were talking about how the animation in the new DBZ show kind of sucks. And Ryan had watched a couple of episodes and he said, no, it looks fine. But now you're saying it does suck.
I got to episode 4 or 5 where he fights Beerus. And I remember DBZ having different animation styles, different art styles. Do you remember?
Yeah.
But it was all pretty okay.
Yeah.
This was such a drastic fucking change from what looked like Toriyama's work in the first 4 episodes.
Wasn't anything like the movie?
No. The first 4 episodes looked like Toriyama's work, or at least an artist that's rendering his style. And it looked fine. It looked really good. And was animated well.
But the other ones just look like very, very bad.
I got to episode 5, it was completely different. And it looked just like those screen grabs that you saw.
Yeah, it's just a really bad fan fiction.
It was, and the animation wasn't great.
They
And it's just off. It looked, the anatomy was off and everything. And
Maybe they ran out of money real quick.
I don't think so. Not DBZ.
DBZ was like that. I mean, they even Dragon Ball. I think they switch out artists. You know.
You would think,
normally
though,
they
since
can-
it's brand new coming back, that they would at least try to keep the quality good for up to 5 episodes.
Yeah, I understand them cycling artists, but it just
normally
wasn't good.
the way it works is they hire a studio, and the studio is the one that just does all the work, and it's several artists in that studio that do everything. Is it possible that maybe the studio they were working with said, no, fuck you guys, because of some reason, and they couldn't find a professional studio fast enough? And so they just went with like, hey, Gary down the street does animation.
Well, I haven't watched anything past that episode, so I don't know if it's gonna cycle again or if that's the way it stays for some godforsaken reason.
That would suck.
Would you still be able to watch it?
It didn't even look like Goku sometimes. Like it just.
Because Akira Toriyama's work is like you automatically know it's him. Because I remember the first time I played Chrono Trigger, I didn't know he was the guy who did the artwork for it.
That's a fantastic game.
Yeah, and when I first played it, I was like, why does everybody look like they're from Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, I remember thinking that as well.
Sorry, my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, and it sucks further because we saw Battle of Gods, and we saw him fight Beerus already on the big screen with top-notch animation, and it was drastically fucking horrible. And
Would you live in the Dragon Ball Z universe?
I was gonna ask that, but when you were asking which you would not going on.
But
Your mic has been backwards the whole time.
I know.
He
I
sounds
turned it this
fine,
way because you told me to turn it this way.
No, I said make sure the back, because it says back.
Yeah, I see that now. I had to turn the right way, and you said make sure it's turned back. And I turned it, and then I'm looking at the mic going, why does it say back?
Maybe that's why one's all echoey and
It
sounds
did
like
sound very echoey,
Do I
didn't it?
sound echoey?
yeah, it's like radio voice.
Or do I sound like I'm on old time radio?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, when you were
Carry
mentioning
on while
like,
I fix this.
which world you wouldn't want to live in, I thought about DBZ as well, because we would always die.
Yeah, everybody dies in Dragon Ball Z.
The planet
Wait,
just blows up.
if you live in the Japanese version,
Wait,
you would
wait,
live
wait,
in the
wait,
American
wait,
version.
wait,
You
wait,
always
over
evacuate
again.
the city before anything
wait,
happens.
would die over and over again, but not know it.
Wait. Do I sound good, guys? I sound
Nobody
good?
else can hear you, so you're asking everyone if they can.
I'm referring to you, Tom.
I'm not guys. I'm one guy.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
Yeah,
You would
sound
die
great.
over and over again and not even know it.
What are we talking about?
If you lived in Dragon Ball Z, in the Dragon Ball Z universe, if you lived in the Japanese Dragon Ball Z universe, you would die, because everybody dies in those. But if you lived in the American version, you'd always evacuate the city just in time.
I wouldn't want to evacuate all the
No,
time.
if you lived in the cut version, you know.
Okay, in the cut version. Guys, I can see the parachutes. They're okay.
I wouldn't want to live in Dragon Ball Z universe.
Kramer and I are gonna get 3DSs.
Oh, yeah.
For what?
Me, mostly for Pokemon.
Yeah, it's for
and
Pokemon.
quite a few other games.
Oh.
Are there any Legend of Zelda games coming out?
There is a Majora's Mask bundle.
No, that's way sold out. They don't have that anymore.
You
That's
can
been
only
sold
buy it
out for
online.
hella-
You can buy it online.
But you can still get the game.
Yeah, you can get the game, but
Oh, shit. We've already reached over an hour.
It's okay because we went off topic anyway.
That's true.
Horribly off
you
topic.
gonna turn that off?
Okay. I'm still with Pokemon.
I'm still superheroes.
I'm like 60-40.
You like 60-40?
Yeah.
Pokemon 60?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Superhero 60? Tom?
I'm still Pokemon.
So it's tied.
Yeah, I honestly can't say 100% either.
It's because I like comics too much. like
I
it way more
love
than
comics,
Pokemon.
but that's the thing that makes me realize that I'm not gonna be that guy.
Yeah. I love Attack on Titan, but I know if I went into that world, I'm not going to be Aaron.
I would have never want to go to an Attack on Titan world. But you gotta have hope, guys.
I'd be Aaron's dad.
You gotta have hope that,
You'd be Aaron.
I just leave.
or if it was, I tell you a spoiler.
No, I haven't read
Okay,
in a
okay,
while.
fine.
There was something I saw, like, what if you were Aaron and you finally got to that basement and you found out there was just a giant underground rave? There was like, people with glow sticks.
What if it was just his dad's dildo collection? He was like, I'm just gonna pass them on. That's why no one could ever come in here. Yeah, no, too much. Anyway, superhero universe. Superhero universe.
Marvel or DC? Let's cut it in half.
I'd probably just go for Marvel.
You know, if you had to be a supervillain though,
DC.
you would probably want to, because Marvel villains are fucking psychotic and like they don't mess around. But in
You're not helping.
interested.
You're not helping,
but
right?
in DC, you kind of have fun with it. There are some that are like, yeah, you know,
Could I be Stiltman?
what the fuck
Stilt
is
man?
Stiltman?
Is that just you walking?
Yes, right. I just want to be Stiltman.
Fucking Stilt man.
I saw him in a.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
He just walks around on stilts kicking people.
He's a guy
my
who
God.
wears a robotic pantsuit. That makes his legs go super giant so he can walk, like all tall,
Oh, that's fucking great.
like stilts.
Oh, what if we were like that French supervillain from Captain America?
Which one?
The guy who kicks.
Wait, in Captain America, there's an evil French supervillain.
Well, Winter Soldier in the beginning.
Does he always give up?
Batroc, the Leaper.
The leaper.
He's a French
What?
dude. He's like, oh, Captain America, you know?
I leap to safety.
Does he always give up?
He's just a horrible little. He's always
Just
robbing the bank and he's got like a little bag of money. That's it. Or jewels.
I was just reading something about. They were like, Shield was taking down the accountants of Shield. We're trying to figure out where all these supervillains are getting money for their costumes, and then like all their technology, but then robbing banks and only getting like 20 grand. They're like, they have to have more money somewhere. Where is this all coming from? And it was such a big like, it didn't make any sense. And then they realized that Doom was funding everyone through terrorism.
Okay, if you were in the superhero world, where would you get your costume at?
There's a costume maker that makes and sews up costumes.
And
An
everybody
old
knows
man.
him?
Yeah, he does it for villains and heroes. Like upcoming
Nice.
villains and upcoming heroes.
How much does he charge?
I don't know. It's like a dry clean place.
Just get a loan. Get a loan,
Don't
rob a
look
bank,
me
pay
straight
it
in
off.
the eye and then do that.
That came through on the recording. I heard it.
But yeah, there's a guy who does it. Like he sews up like Spider-Man suit, and then at the same time there's like, and he's got days like Monday, Wednesday, Friday superheroes, Tuesday, Thursdays villains come in.
Oh, so that they don't.
Very organized.
They don't clash.
Sounds like this world's looking pretty good to Kramer, huh?
No.
And the old man's pretty
Okay,
funny.
but
He's
that
like,
means
You
have to-
just Kramer
you
has
got this
you have
new
one
guy.
argument, and it's just that there's the chance that you could be in collateral damage,
Yeah, because it's a pretty high percentage.
Give or take.
But it'd be
What if
pretty-
you lived in the suburbs?
It'd be fucking
If I lived in the
awesome.
suburbs, then
Nothing
I'd be
ever-
basically living in the world I am now.
It'd be fucking awesome though if you were trapped under rubble and Thor lifted it up to save you.
Right? How cool would that be?
Except for when it crushed your legs and you didn't have the use of your legs for the rest of your life. And
You
were
just get
Just-
robot
there you
legs.
go.
Tony
There you
Stark
go.
would fund everything
Yeah.
and he'd give
Thanks,
everybody
Thor.
new legs.
I could have
would
just
not.
died and gone to heaven, but now I'm a cripple.
No, you just get robot legs. Like that's the kind of universe you live
I
in.
don't have
where-
money for robot legs.
Tony
don't
Stark
have
would
money.
pay
Tony
for
Stark
it.
would give you robot
He would
legs.
pay for it?
He
He
won't.
pays for everything.
He will not.
He will.
He doesn't pay for anything. He just lets shit get fucked up, and then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go fix my shit."
That's movie.
That's
Tony
movie.
Stark.
Yeah, he's totally different.
He's totally different.
In the movie, he's different, but Tony Stark would pay for you.
I'd imagine if that's the case, then in real life, everybody's got a robotic something because everybody's been fucked up at some point by something.
They could.
If that's the case, I would just go to Stark Tower and find something to fuck up and fall on me, so that he can give me a whole lot of money for something.
Maybe he does do that.
Wait,
Maybe
is it
people
like
have that.
like it looks real and it feels real, or is
What?
it like robotic? Because imagine if my right arm got destroyed, and I got like an
Is
Iron
this a
Man.
jerking off joke?
Yes, because that would be very uncomfortable to just have like a metal hand going up and down, and I'm like,
Why wouldn't you just switch hands?
Learn to do lefty.
just into the lefty. I don't have that coordination.
Kramer, you're this is the dumbest idea I've ever think. What if I got a robot arm and then I chafed my dick while trying to jerk it? Well, why would you do that, Kramer?
Just use lube, lotion, and something else.
Buy a fucking
Can I make it vibrate? It would just be like,
buy like a fleshlight or something. Problem solved. Oh, they don't
I
have
have
those.
some dignity.
You know what would be so
They don't
tight,
have
though?
those in
If you had
Pokemon
the
universe.
Iron Man metal,
You're
like,
just
How
gonna
do
be
you know that a
sexually.
fleshlight's
No,
addictive?
I mean in the Pokemon, you're gonna be sexually frustrated as a
What?
prepubescent 10-year-old
no, they're
for the
not
rest of your
frustrated
life.
because it ain't there. You're not gonna have it.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Wait,
not
I
gonna
don't
be
get it. Why
there.
would I be sexually frustrated?
Well, I was gonna say because you
Because
live
they don't have
forever.
fleshlights? I don't use fleshlights now.
You
I
seem pretty
imagine they don't
sexually
jerk off
frustrated.
either.
What?
Prove
No,
me
they-
wrong.
they
They've
probably
never
do.
said they do. You gotta go by what at least they've shown.
Did none of the shows, because in the superhero world, they don't show that.
Ryan, do they show people jerking it?
In the superhero world,
Yeah.
All right.
sex is very prevalent in the superhero world.
I mean, Iron Man banged Gamora,
I remember bang everybody.
so
He bangs villains.
we still got sex. Y'all don't have sex. So
Oh man, I read an Ant-Man
take
comic.
that or leave it.
I read an Ant-Man comic just now where he sleeps with like a villain.
Nice.
And he flashes back to joining the Avengers, and Captain America takes him aside, and he's like, "All right, listen, Scott. It's Scott Lang from the movie. He's like, you know, I know you're fresh and you're new and you're nervous and stuff like that, but we only have one rule: never sleep with the villains." And he wakes up. He's like, "I'm sorry, Captain America. He's all naked and
God
with the helmet
damn
on."
it.
He's
I
with
want to
the
see
helmet.
Paul Rudd do that. Paul Rudd's reaction to that would be priceless.
Yeah.
So then the bigger question then is, would you pick sex or no sex?
Nah, I'd imagine in the Pokemon world you can still have sex. Just because it isn't in the show.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going by. No assumptions here.
But humans still procreate in the.
Dude,
That's
I
true.
don't-
Yeah.
Are there babies in Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there?
How is Ash, like he had to reach 10 years old, which means that
No,
at
have
one
we
point
seen-
he was...
Have we
a
seen a
baby.
baby? What if he's created in Professor Oak's lab? What if it's
No,
all artificial
okay, but now you're making
insemination?
assumptions that weren't in the show.
I think
that's-
Gary
Oh,
was
I'm
produced
going
in
off
the lab.
assumptions since they've never said anything.
I'm assuming that they're just like regular
well,
people.
now you're assuming.
You are.
No, there's definitely younger children and everything in the shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're not trainers.
Well, yeah, you have to wait till you're 10 years
Well, I'm
old.
sorry, like parents.
You don't
and, like,
necessarily have to
whoever's-
be a trainer to live in the Pokemon. That was the.
You have
I
the
think
choice
it would-
of becoming a trainer.
I would-
Everybody has the choice to be a trainer. You don't
why
have to
wouldn't
be.
Why wouldn't you be? It would just suck
But that's
if
the
you
choice
didn't.
you would choose.
Yeah, well, there's people in this world that suck too and don't do shit.
This whole topic is a reflection on our own world
Yes, it is.
and us bringing up things we hate.
Oh man.
I think that's all for today.
Yeah, I think we got.
I think we're like half and half superhero and Pokemon still.
Yeah, half and half.
Yeah. On that note, I've been Kramer.
I've been Juan, the best with the best superhero.
Oh my God,
thing.
shut up.
I'll always be Ryan.
Tom's here somewhere.
And y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Pizza?
Yeah, pizza.
Pizza?